Helen Nesterenko from written.com, and I'm joined today by a person I truly admire, a very meaningful person for me, Guy Kawasaki. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
And we are going to be talking today about Guy's last book, The APE. Guy, why did you decide to write the book?
I wrote APE because the previous book that I had written, What the Plus, I self-published. And in the process of self-publishing What the Plus, I learned how difficult it is to self-publish a book. It's complex, it's confusing, it's idiosyncratic. And so I thought, surely there must be a better way. And so I started on this quest of figuring out how to do this so I could help other people self-publish their book better.
In your book you say that writing is one of the most satisfying achievements. Is it so for you, and why?
Absolutely. For me, writing is as close to being an engineer as possible. So, through my life I've worked with engineers and I've had to ask them to change the software or change the hardware. But for me, writing, I am the engineer. So if I decide I want to change the format, if I want to add a section, remove a section, reorganize a section, anything I want to do, I just boot Word and I do what I want to do. So I feel completely empowered when I'm a writer.
When writing APE, you actually used crowdsourcing mechanisms quite a few times in order to design and to get feedback from your followers. Do you think crowdsourcing is a good way to approach creation, and why?
Crowdsourcing is a great way to approach creation because at any given point, there's always somebody on the internet who knows something better than you do. So, when I write a book like APE, I have to understand the entire process from the beginning to the end. But at any given point, somebody's going to understand the conversion process better than I am. And so it's very difficult to find these people unless you crowdsource. In many cases in APE, I needed an example. For example, I needed an example of a person who wrote a book purely for the intellectual challenge of doing the book, because I think that is a very good motivation. And so I posted a message, does anybody know of an example where it was just the intellectual challenge? And someone wrote back and said, yeah, there was a book written in the 1950s that the author wrote the entire book without using any words with the letter E in it. I would have never, ever have heard of that example were it not for crowdsourcing.
You apply the concept of enchantment to books. Can it be applied only to building a marketing platform to further promote a book, or you can actually enchant with your writing?
Enchantment can be done with writing, but I think enchantment is basically a perspective or an operating system for life that you can enchant the person who's assigning you your airplane seat, your hotel room, your waiter, your waitress. It is a way of influencing and persuading people based on building trust and likability and having a high quality product or service. So writing is one way to achieve enchantment, certainly not the only way.
How do you know you are ready to write a book? Is there a certain point in time when you actually understand that?
Yeah, so you're ready to write a book when you have a feeling that you should do it no matter what anybody says. It's kind of like falling in love or starting a company. When you're still wondering if you should get married or you're still wondering whether you should start a company, that might not be the right person or the right idea. And writing is the same way. When you've locked on to that topic, you'll just write it.
Guy, thank you for being with us today. It was very generous for us to join us, and thank you for watching us at written.com.